What's going on, y'all? I'm Czar, and in this video we're going to be doing a quick comparison on vocals with the Waves SSL EV2 and the new SSL 4KB channel strip. Now, the 4KB is a new channel strip from SSL that is meant to add some tone and color, which is weird for me to say that from a company like SSL. I always look at them as the company with the clean sound. I look at Neve as the company with the colored sound, and then API kind of being in between. But recently, over the last few years, we have seen SSL come out with some products that was geared towards adding some tone and color to your signal, like the SSL Fusion. But with this channel strip, this features a Jensen transformer in the mic pre circuit that you can use to add some harmonics and saturation to your signal. And the SSL EV2 does the same. And I guess while we're at it, we may as well go ahead and check out the CLA Mix Hub because it does the same as well with the mic pre. So what I'm going to do in this video, I've got the EQ set the same for both of these. Both of these use very different compressors, so I'm not even going to mess with that, but we're going to add some saturation with the mic pre as well as EQ this vocal. This is a artist named Marquise Green. And for the EQ for both of these, I have 3 dB. Yeah, 3 dB at 10K on the shelf. We're adding 2 dB at 3K. And we're cutting 2 dB at 350 hertz. And we're boosting 3 dB at 200 hertz. And we have a 70 hertz high pass filter. Now, one thing we will notice with these mic pre's that add gain or add color and saturation here is that with the SSL 4KB, we can drive this a lot further before it gets into distortion, and I'll show you that, than what we can with the SSL or with the Waves EV2. It's going to get into distortion a lot quicker. All right, so let's start with that. I believe, yeah, we've got both EQs bypassed right now. All right, let's start with the Waves SSL EV2. Actually, I'll bring both of these to 0, and I'll bring it up just to show you where we start to hit distortion at with both of these.
Mm-hmm. Through all of my bullshit, you stayed through it all. Hard to believe that the man I am, you claim you always saw.
All right, starting to get some breakup there at probably about 9 or 10. I'm going to go ahead and put it back to where I had it, where I was comfortable with at 3. Let's take a look at the SSL 4KB. With the SSL 4KB, you do need to hit this pre button in order to get the color out of the mic pre. With it out, it's not going to do anything. You can turn it, but it's not going to do anything. So yeah, you have to have this on.
Mm-hmm. Through all of my bullshit, you stayed through it all. Hard to believe that the man I am, you claim you always saw. Mm-hmm. Through all of my bullshit.
All right, you can see with the, we're at about 57 dB here before we really start to get some breakup there. So between these two, with this mic pre knob, you can go a lot further with the 4KB. It has more, I'll say, usable saturation than what the Waves does. Well, I'm going to put this back to where I'd say I was comfortable with it, maybe about 40, I believe. All right, let's check out the EQ now. Let's go back to the Waves.
Mm-hmm. Through all of my bullshit, you stayed through it all. Hard to believe that the man I am, you claim you always saw.
And the 4KB.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Through all of my bullshit, you stayed through it all. Hard to believe that the man I am, you claim you always saw.
All right, so between those two, I do like the 4KB is just more pleasing to my ear with the EQ, and I like that the saturation, there's a lot more usable saturation there as well. Let's take a look at also, I wasn't planning to do this with this video, but we may as well since it's essentially the same thing here. Let's pull up that, what is it called? Mix Hub. And take a look at it. And we'll take just a few seconds and set this. We did 3 dB at 10K. Was it a dB and a half? No, 2 dB. 2 dB at 3. I know at 350. I think we cut 2 dB. And high pass filter was 70. And we added 2 dB, or was it 3 dB? 3 dB at 200 hertz. All right, make sure that the dynamics is bypassed. We're on 1-to-1, good. All right, so let's check out this mic pre here, mic pre knob here to add some saturation and see what we've got. I'll make sure, yeah, it's bypassed. All right.
Through all of my bullshit, you stayed through it all. Hard to believe that the man I am, you claim you always saw.
All right, so it's about the same as the EV2. I think once we get up to 10, we're going to start to really get some breakup here. So I'm going to bring that back down to 3. And we have the EQ on. EQ is on. All right, let's listen to this versus the 4KB now.
Through all of my bullshit, you stayed through it all. Hard to believe that the man I am, you claim you always saw.
And the 4KB.
Through all of my bullshit, you stayed through it all. Hard to believe that the man I am, you claim you always saw.
Okay, so between these two, I still like the 4KB more. I just feel like the saturation there has a smoother tone to it, where it feels a little rough around the edges on the CLA Mix Hub. And that very well could be with how much I'm driving it as well. This isn't, something I can set at the same value on both of them and get the exact same effect. But I am liking that saturation on the 4KB more. And looking at it too with the 4KB, this output fader also adds saturation as well. So you have that option. Between those two, that's how I feel. But I gotta say, it is, I want to say easier, but you have to look at the fact as well, deciding between these two, that the CLA Mix Hub and the Waves SSL EV2, you can purchase those outright from Waves, whereas right now the 4KB is only available in the SSL subscription. That's $14.99 a month. So you will have to sign up for a subscription in order to use the SSL 4KB. Unless you have the UC1 hardware controller, you do get the 4KB free if you own that, because that comes with the bus compressor 2, the native channel strip 2, and it also includes this 4KB. Now, also included with the 4KB is the SSL 360 software that's going to allow you to mix using this channel strip as well as the SSL native channel strip 2. You'll have 2 versions now if you pick both of these up. Let me just show you that the SSL native in here as well. We'll put that on another track. Just so you can see that you have access to both of them. So yeah, here's the native channel strip 2, and on the left we have the SSL 4KB. So this SSL 360 software will allow you to use both of these channel strips outside of the DAW, and basically allowing you to mix as if you were on a SSL console. With the addition of the 4KB, we now have 2 different flavors of SSL channel strips that you can use in your mix, which is really, really nice. Looking at the SSL, the Waves Mix Hub, you can also kind of do the same thing with the bucket view here, where you can put these on all of your tracks and assign them to buckets. I tried mixing like that and it just wasn't for me, but I do find using the 360 SSL 360 software to be really fun when you're mixing using it this way, because it gives you that feeling that you're on a console in a way that you don't have to look at your DAW. Obviously, you'd have to edit in your DAW if you're editing, but if you're just doing faders, dynamics, EQ, you can do all that from this screen. And if you have something like I have the fader port 8 where I can still control Studio One, you can do that without being in Studio One, or having Studio One up, I should say. And another really cool feature with the SSL 4KB as well as the Channel Strip 2 is now in Studio One, the solo and cut buttons will work. So work in Studio One to where I can solo a track that I'm on or cut a track that I'm on, and I can do the same thing when I'm in this SSL 360 software. So again, very much of an approach of mixing on a console without having to look at the DAW screen the whole time. All right, so there's a look at the SSL 4KB compared to the Waves CLA Mix Hub as well as the Waves EV2. All three of these I feel are great SSL channel strips, and they all have very good uses. Don't forget that the Waves CLA Mix Hub has the Bluey compressor, so you get an 1176 compressor in that channel strip as well here, and you can also insert other Waves plugins into your channel strip here with the Mix Hub. All right, definitely comment and let me know, what do you think of these three SSL channel strips? I like them all. Right now I am liking the 4KB the best. However, it's just harder for me to get my hands on because I don't want to sign up for a subscription in order to get access to this plugin. So hopefully at some point in the future, SSL will allow us to just purchase this straight up. We'll see. So if you want to check out any of these plugins I've shown today, I will have a link in the description. And if you enjoyed this video, I appreciate a thumbs up. And if you want to continue to see content from me, then you know what to do. Any questions, comments, let me know, and I'll catch y'all next time.